Joining us from Bangkok, Thailand, Sangita Bhatia with Catholic Relief Services in India. Good morning, Sangita.
Good morning, Ryan, and good morning to all your listeners.
I imagine it's not morning where you are, though.
Not at all. It's late evening here.
Yeah, you work to combat sex trafficking in Southeast Asia. How common is this practice?
This practice is very common, Brian. We have a large number of women and children who are forced into sex work or prostitution in India. They are lured from their families, from their communities, and they are given false promises of jobs in big cities, but they're actually then sold into prostitution.
It's unthinkable that this could still be happening in our time. How are these young women lured into this industry?
Trafficking normally takes place through agents or traffickers, and these traffickers visit the family of these young people, the young children and women. They convince the family that they will take their girl to the city, get her a good job, which will pay well. And they also give some money to these families to convince them of this. And, also as a promise that more money would be coming soon. The girls are then taken to the city where they realize that it's not a domestic work job that is waiting for them, but it is actually prostitution. A girl that we rescued recently, she was 14 years old, and she had been lured into a big city in India with the promise of a nice job, but she ended up in a brothel for a year.
It must be terribly dangerous for these young women.
It is dangerous. I mean, there are very few escape routes. Once you are into the system, you cannot really escape from there. The pimps, the brothel owners, they have a strong network, and sometimes the law enforcement agencies are also in connivance with them. So, yes, escape is not possible, and it is dangerous for them.
So these women are used in this sex trafficking. What happens when this industry is done with them, so to speak?
When the industry is done with them, they move on to other kinds of jobs, or many of them actually, unfortunately, become pimps themselves, and they then work to lure other young girls from their villages or communities into the profession, and that's the way it happens.
So what is Catholic Relief Services trying to do to help in this situation?
CRS does a variety of things to prevent this situation. We work with communities to create awareness about trafficking, about the way traffickers or agents can operate. We have set up community vigilance groups in our communities which educate people about the way traffickers operate. They keep an eye on any person coming into the village or talking to the young girls. They also keep an eye on people who are moving out of their community. Where are they going? Who are they going with? They also advise them to keep in touch with their families so that the families know they are safe. CRS also promotes education for all children and young girls, so that not only because education is important in itself, but also because we think that any person, a child in school, is less likely to be trafficked or lured by an agent.
Sangita, because there is so much money involved in this, and I'm sure that many of the people who are running this sex trafficking industry are very powerful people, is there an element of danger involved for those working through Catholic Relief Services to stem this tide?
There is definitely some element of danger involved in this, Brian, but we have partners who work in the field, who have been working with communities for a long time. They also try to work with the police and other law enforcement agencies so that there is greater acceptance of this crime, of this modern-day slavery, and help can be provided to the victims. They also try to create awareness on this through the media so that much of the network or the syndicate behind it can be rendered ineffective.
Well, I'm sure there are people who are listening to the Sunrise Morning Show this morning who are saying, this is terrible, but that's in India. What on earth can I do about that? How can we help Catholic Relief Services in this fight?
Oh, we need all the help that we can get on this. Please, I would say, keep us in your prayers. Help to create awareness about this crime. And also, if you would like to contribute to CRS's work, please do log on to www.crs.org to know more about ways that you can help us.
Is Catholic Relief Services a relatively small force there in Southeast Asia, or is it, well, is it larger, and how effective is it?
CRS is a fairly large player in this area across Asia. We work in more than 11 to 12 countries in this region, starting from South Asia to East Asia. We cover a whole range, and we are a fairly big player.
All right, again, if you would give that information on how our listeners can help in this effort in Southeast Asia, battling this sex trafficking industry through Catholic Relief Services.
Yes, for any support, please log on to www.crs.org for ways to contribute to our efforts.
Well, we appreciate you being with us and bringing this to our attention this morning, and certainly you and all the Catholic Relief Services workers are in our prayers, and especially the young women who are being victimized by this. And again, Sangita Bhatia with Catholic Relief Services, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you for this opportunity.